Okay, I think the camera is good. Hello everybody, this is Milan, and in this video I want to talk about a very important topic, which is actually how you can look a professional developer, no matter if you're a web developer or a software engineer or just a coder, simple coder in a research team doing master's projects or PhD projects. This topic is related to coding in general. If you want to be a good professional coder, so this is a single tip. This is a single lesson that covers everything, and it's amazing. And you've heard about it a lot of times. I'm pretty sure about that, but because the same thing happened to me, and I've heard this over the past few years in different occasions, but at the beginning didn't understand it well. I underestimated it actually when I hear it in the beginning. But then after a while, when I start working as a web developer, machine learning engineer, doing research, and the more I was with other people, with other programmers and reviewers of my code, it became more important, and I understood why this simple keyword is really important. So if you understand this, and if you learn it carefully and work on that and dig more about that, I'm pretty sure that you're gonna be a much better programmer. One of the reasons that you need to know these things is for when you want to work in a company, then you want to be a valuable asset in those companies as a programmer. You want them to recognize you as a good developer, as a professional developer, so you can demand more salary and you can stay longer in that company. Also, the other reason to learn this topic is that actually it helps you to get jobs easily, to get interviews, to pass the interviews easier. And you can, if you know this topic, it makes it easier for you to change your job, to find your dream job if you want. So everything is related to this. So let's begin. Please keep watching the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, please. Well, let me start like this. Let me tell you my story. Well, I used to think I started programming and coding since I was 15, using Pascal. First language was Pascal, and then it was Visual Basic, and I just started using all sorts of languages and learning all sorts of tools and softwares and things related to coding. And my idea, I used to think like this, that if I can deliver the task, that's all. If I have a task in front of me, if I want to create a new feature, if I want to create a web page, a software, a small part of a project, a coding problem, if I want to solve a coding problem. For instance, when I was in master's studies, I used to read papers and implement those kind of papers related to machine learning and computer science and algorithms. I used to read those papers, learn those papers, and implement those papers. In all of these situations, I used to think that if I deliver the task, if I just do it, and the end result, if the end result is what my employer wants, if this is what my supervisor wants, if this is the user wants, if this is the end result that we need to have, I'm done with the job. I'm happy about it. For many years I used to think like this, that I'm a programmer, I'm a good programmer because I'm a good problem solver and I can find a solution easily, and there is no limitation for me. I can go through the web and if I don't know anything, I can search. If this is a new language, if this is a C# for instance, for my my bachelor's project, I wanted to simulate something with C# and I'm not quite sure WPF, it was 3D rendering yet. I did not know anything about C# and this sort of stuff, and I told myself, well, it's easy, you just go to web and grab some lines, and then eventually I created what I want. And all these years I used to think that as soon as I achieve the end result is what we want to see, that's the 80% of the job. This is a good programmer, yeah? And the rest 20% is about making the code better, making the code look better and more efficient, with less computational power and these sort of things. We all hear about this from different aspects, different channels. But then after a while, changing my jobs, working with other developers, working on more projects, I started realizing that it's not completely true, and there are more important things, it seems. So that rest 20% during time became more important and more important. What was that 20%? It was clean coding. Everything I'm gonna say in this video is about clean coding. I used to think of clean coding as just making the code look better, use indentation, use some comments to explain the code, put semicolon if necessary in the language, don't make the script long that much. These kind of stuff that are really important and are the basic things in clean coding, but it's not all. It's just the beginning of clean coding. And that 20%, after working with different developers, changing jobs in different areas, I finally understood that, this is the important thing in coding and programming. This is what makes you different from others. It's not about problem solving and finding a solution. Because these days, with all of these resources and materials we have on programming, and now with ChatGPT, we can easily find and quickly find the answer we want. With all these resources and materials, you can find the solution really easily if you don't know the language. If you just can type, if you have worked with some languages, basic languages, the rest is pretty simple. You can, create a web page simply with HTML and CSS. If you don't know anything about it, in just a couple of hours, you can develop a feature. If you don't know anything about it, in a few days, you can create a website. You can create a web application with, different frameworks in a matter of days or weeks. If you don't know anything about it, it's easy. We have all sorts of YouTube videos, all sorts of courses, materials on this that you can learn based on that. and we have Stack Overflow. You can just search in the Google and just copy and paste the solution you want. So these days, programming, how to achieve the end result the user wants or the employer wants, is the 20 or 30% of the job. That's all. That's a maximum. So if you know how to develop something, it's good. It's the start, but it's just a beginning. It's just the beginning of the road of being a good developer. And that's only 20 and 30%. The rest, 80 or 70%, is all about clean coding. Believe me, it's all about clean coding. And this is surprising that pretty much everything we learn in courses, in universities, in different classrooms about, algorithms and data structures and architecture, object-oriented programming, design patterns, and these all sorts of things we hear all the time. All of these are part of clean coding. The reason is that you can survive without object-oriented programming. You can survive without design patterns. You can survive without, data structures, data algorithms, without big O. All of these things are basically not really necessary. You can build a program. You just need to write some lines, some basic codes. As long as you know how to use if conditions, for loops, defining variable, and some basic rules about each language. That's all. You can create all sorts of programs you want. That's everything you need to know. But there are topics like object-oriented programming, OOP, classes, instances, inheritance, encapsulation, all this stuff. All of these are here because of clean coding, because we want to have a better code. These days, we want to create applications that we can add more stuff to it easier, remove things easier, quickly. We want to expand it. We want the application to be scalable, expandable. We want the application, has the ability to be able to combine with other applications, to communicate with other applications. All of these things are part of clean coding. All these complicated architectures we have, the design patterns we have, all of these are for having a better code, having a cleaner code, basically. So clean coding is not all about adding the comments or following the indentation, right indentation, or splitting your code into smaller parts. All of these are important, but it's just the beginning. A lot of big things we hear. For instance, if you are a researcher and working on some papers and you probably want to create an algorithm, writing the algorithm is not really difficult based on the paper. What is really important here is how efficient your algorithm is. The big O, data structure, data algorithms, all of these things are important. Memory optimization, how to access the memory, how to retrieve data, even working with database. All of these things are part of clean coding because we want to have a better code. It's not important if you just write down an application and for instance, for classification. It's easy. You can do a couple of lines. You can achieve an algorithm for data clustering or classification, like k-means or kn. But the point is how efficient is this code is, and because we want to use it for big data, and that time it is really important to have a more efficient code. Also, we want to use this in a lot of places. We want to have modules, libraries. We want to make it, in a way that we can grab this specific piece and use it somewhere else. You can write down all the algorithms in only one script, but it's not really good because we want to use it in other projects. You need to think about this. But we as developers, especially when we are in the beginning of the way, we think that now that we can code, that's all. Okay, I'm happy that I can build a web application. But to be honest, it's not, it's just the 20%. The 80% is still there, and it's not related to specific programming language at all. It's all some big things that you need to know, basic things, fundamental things. And usually in the interviews, they ask about these things, and you wonder why they're asking about this, because I don't think we want this sort of stuff. Why are they asking me about data structures or data algorithms or sorting algorithms? The reason is that behind the hood, behind the scene, when you start working on a code, if you have this logic of how things are in programming and what things are important, more important, and it's not only about developing the end result. When you understand that, and when they see that you care about these sort of things, maybe you don't use data structures that much. Maybe you don't care about big O that much, because basically you're developing an application. It's not a machine learning algorithm. It's already efficient enough. But when they understand that you care about these things, it's a signal that you're good. You pay attention to these things. So basically, everything other than the basic rules in programming languages, everything else are just clean coding. So clean coding is not a simple keyboard. It covers everything and anything. I think I talked enough. Let me see if I missed something or not. So that was just a hint. I didn't talk about what clean coding is. Probably I will talk about clean coding, what is, and because there is a lot of things that are in the area of clean coding, basically everything, and we can talk about all of those things. But this video wasn't about what is clean coding, and I just want to give you a hint, a bigger picture of things, why clean coding is that important, and when you code, it's just about 20 or 30%. When you're done, please take a look at your code again and again and again. And we have this problem, I have this problem every day, because we have a lot of reviewers in the company and they review my code. And most of the codes are related to clean coding. It's not about the functionality. Functionality is fine. The end result is exactly what user wants. But if you look closely, you see that the speed of loading the page is not good enough. When you look closely, you see that there are some little bugs because the code wasn't really clean that much. And a lot of other things in the backend side, because other developers want to work on my code, so they don't understand it. It's vague, it's long, it's not readable, it's not scalable, it's not expandable. So all of these things come and play a big role. So I think that's all I want to talk about. So I hope you pay more attention to these small things from now on. If you want to look more professional in the interviews and at your job, at your work, when you're working as a developer. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And see you. Bye-bye.